we've spoken to you. What were the last 3-ish weeks like for you? Being away from the team, obviously, but also having to deal with COVID while that was going on.
Yeah, to be honest, I was bored. Like, I didn't know what to do with my time. The first week I couldn't even come into the facility, so that was probably the worst week. But the next two, well, the week after that, I was able to come in. I was in the team meetings. I was in some of the meetings and getting treatment. But the last week, COVID. I mean, I didn't really get too sick. Like I felt a little bit of the symptoms, but it went away pretty fast. But for me, I was just bored. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't leave the house for 1 week, and then 1 week I just couldn't be around the team. So it was just boring, miserable, really.
Luke Johnson.
Deonte, what's it been like watching Marquez kind of turn up the last couple of weeks and come up with a couple of huge games for him? Just knowing that you guys have been shorthanded a lot of times this year in that receiver corps.
Yeah, I'm mad at him because I think he had 2 games where he could have went for 100, but nah, it's major. Like I told y'all before, a guy like him, you just want to see him win. He kind of got the same story as me as far as undrafted and stuff like that. So for him to be able to do what he's done in the last couple of weeks has been major. So shout out to Quest.
Nick.
How much pride do you take in just last week fielding some of those punts, like where field position is so important? You got guys crashing in on you. Just was kind of the difficulty of standing in there and doing that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely scary, but they talk about it all the time. Hitting yards is something that won't pop up in the stat sheet, but it's something that we put an emphasis on, and so I definitely take a lot of pride in it. I mean, that's part of my job, help my team get the best field position they can. So, I mean, even if it's not a 50-yard return, then it is what it is. But it helped the team, it put the team in a good position. So, I'm gonna do it.
Amy.
Yeah, off the field, you had some pretty big things happen lately. Changing your last name.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you and personally? And then what does that mean for you on the field? Like, what do you want us to call you? That type of stuff.
Personally, for me, it was major. That's a man has played the father figure in my life for 17 years, and so it was something I always thought about and always wanted to do. And I felt like, the holiday. I always told him like he not like an emotional guy, so I was like every year I'm gonna try to do something that like try to bring tears to your eyes because I never seen him cry before. So it was just a thought that I always had, and I just felt like that was the right time to do it. That's my guy, that's my hero. So for me, it's an honor for him to accept me as his son, accept my brothers, and then for him to accept or let me take on his last name so that I could pass it down to my kids. It's just major. And as far as football, to be honest, I don't know. I think it's up in the air, but I think for next year, I think I'm gonna change the last name on the jersey. I just gotta figure out, make sure it ain't nothing wrong with it.
Luke.
What did you think of the job Aesop did filling in for you at punt return?
He did solid. I ain't gonna lie, it was one. I don't know who we played. I think it was the Jets. It was one. I think he could have scored on. He looked kind of slow, but nah, for him to come in as a rookie, and I think he had a good impact, a big impact on some of them plays that he had in. So, for him to just come in, get comfortable, field those punts, and just try to make plays. Shout out to him. I know that's a moment that he been waiting for. So, shout out to Aesop.
Hey Deontay, just so like we aren't disrespecting you or anything when we write about you, tweet about you, do you want us to go by Harris or should we start going by Hardy like as of now?
You could just go with whatever you feel. It don't matter. Nah, go by Hardy. Go by Hardy. Go by Hardy.
All right, we got you.
Yeah, go by Hardy.
And Deonte, if I could, look, you knew this suspension was coming probably, right? So if you could just kind of walk us through like waiting on that to come down and and once it finally did, like, how did you try to, even though you had the COVID thing, how did you try to spend your time away from football in that time?
So obviously, like you said, we knew the suspension was coming. We just didn't know when. I mean, I'd never been suspended before, so obviously the legal system got their own deal with whatever, and the NFL deal with it afterwards. So, we ended up appealing. I played a few games because we had injuries and stuff like that. And so once it hit, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't expected. It was just, just something we had to deal with. I mean, it came at a bad time for the team, but, we always preach that next man up mentality. So, but it wasn't nothing that that like caught us off guard. It was just dealing with the people outside of it, because, you got the people that first knew when it came out, and then you had the people that was like DMing me and stuff, like asking me about it and stuff like that. So really, that was just like the biggest thing, like just dealing with, or just trying to, stay away and try to ignore the people outside of football. But I didn't really get too many, the people that love me, they still embrace me. They still, I'm still who I am. I just made a mistake, and I learned from it, and yeah.
Anything else for Deonte? Appreciate your time, man.